play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bombstastic gonna find Rainer.
Oh, the life finder keeps Maya up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the NGS Rewind. I am joined by Ectar, and if you're wondering why can't you see Ectar, it's because I gotta figure out how to fix his camera. Because apparently he's not there. But hello Ectar, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing better now that I'll be able to actually watch the game on my own time instead of having to be locked to you.
Yes, absolutely. I can imagine that it'll be a lot better to be able to check in what's going on anywhere on the map, and also to check on things like the talents and names and all that good stuff.
That's a cute dog. That's
There
a really
we go.
cute dog.
Wow, I don't understand how it was so far off. So I'm trying to scroll. There we go. I moved you over enough to that we can see your dog in the background there as well.
Yeah,
But welcome to the
We're
stream.
mirrored for some reason, but that's okay.
We're mirrored.
Yep. At least as far as how I see myself on the Discord.
Interesting, because you look exactly the same on Discord as in the thing. So I don't know.
Strange.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, either way, game number 4, match number 4 here tonight, going to be a playoff game between Heroes of the United States and Rush B. And as such, I figured we'd bring our special guest here, Alpha, so that she can help us to comment on what's going on. That would be Al. He's got opinions as well. But let's take a quick look here. This is in the quarterfinals, the number 1 and number 8 seed. So let's take a look at the maps that they banned out here. Heroes of the United States banned out Cursed Hollow and Dragonshire. You need to stop.
What do you say? Ready to
And
have a little fun?
Rush B banned out. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Heroes of the United States banned out Braxis and Alterac Pass. Rush B banned out Cursed Hollow and Dragonshire. Now, I happen to know that Rush B has banned out Dragonshire every single series for the last 2 seasons. Regular season and playoffs. They do not want to play there. But the pick is going to be onto Sky Temple. That's where our first map is going to be played.
always an interesting map pick, as it is by far the least played in the entirety of NGS.
Is it really entirely?
Yes.
Wow.
By a significant margin.
What's the number 2? Just out of curiosity.
Couldn't tell you from memory. I
Okay,
can tell
well,
you
that's
with a
fine.
couple of minutes of looking.
No worries. That's fine. I just didn't know if you knew. What would your guess be? My guess would be Braxis.
Yeah, I would guess Braxis or maybe Cursed Hollow.
I was just going to say, I don't see a lot of Cursed Hollow, so it could be Cursed Hollow. But that's okay, because this one's going to be on Sky Temple, and let's see, let's get that set up here.
I can tell you the most played are Infernal Shrines by a significant margin, followed by Tomb of the Spider Queen, which I don't think surprises too many people.
Indeed, and Volskaya Foundry, if I remember correctly, is right behind Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yep.
Yeah,
That is correct.
good deal. Do you want to shout out to DeBlank P? DBlank P? P-E? DeBlank Pay? Anyways, as for the follow, just as a reminder, so if you'd like to check out more of my casting, you can do so at twitch.tv/Aero of the Storm. And Ectar, you do some casting as well, don't you?
On occasion, I do over at twitch.tv/Ectar.
Nice and easy. Well, the game's all set up and ready to go, so let's get right into it here. Now you're good. You see the game, right?
I do, in fact, see the game.
All right.
I now see the loading screen.
Aha.
I see a Tassadar. Oh my gosh, I love a Tassadar.
And this was, again, this was just a couple days ago. So this is after his adjustments in the balance patch. We talked earlier about the Kira balances that came out. But Tassadar got some love here recently, too.
Yeah, I've actually been doing kind of a lot of Tassadar in quick play and a little bit in unranked draft to find out if he's still bad. And the jury is still out. I think he's not fantastic, but I like the comp that he's being shoved into.
All right, well, let's get right into the game here. Make sure that the game is loading. Hold on. There we go. All right, so why don't you take HOTUS?
Why don't you go first? Because I don't remember which team is which.
All right. Well, on the right here, we have Rush B. Great Patu is going to be playing the Kael'thas. Dominator is on Uther, I think. Greenwall 12 on the Anubarak. Arcane's actually on the Uther. Dominator, of course, on Maev. I should have known better. And Fatlock 333 on Johanna.
And Heroes of the United States spawning in the blue trunks, we have Vala being played by Blaze, Oriel being played by Waterboy, TKD, Garrosh being played by Watson, Tassadar being played by Jub, and Dahaka by, I'm going to say Clyde.
I think Clyde makes sense. Looks about right. All right, so now that we have our regular overlay back, we can actually pop up those talents to take a look at a little bit more frequently. And so, auto attack build coming out from Tassadar.
It's a little bit of a spicy pick. I do like it when he's being run in the solo lane like this against a Johanna, because what's Johanna going to do to punish an auto-attacking Tassadar? I mean, blind him occasionally, but that's about it.
Yeah, and you know, the one thing that with the Tassadar too is that when you take auto attack, he just stands there, right? So I mean, you've got some heroes like a Li Ming that can really punish that, but there's not really anything other than, I guess, maybe the Kael'thas, kind of.
Maev can really punish someone for just standing still because she can get that Emerald Bind, which she did go on level 1.
Yeah, and that's the one that gets the extra damage and all that with the tethers. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much Tassadar sets himself up to be bound with other targets. But he's almost halfway done with his level 1 quest there, since he's able to just sit there and channel it on Johanna. That literally means he spent a third of the time of this game just standing still channeling Johanna.
Yeah, but once he gets up that next 3 seconds, that's going to be 125% extra damage. That's gigantic.
Yeah, he becomes a real damage hero then, when he's standing still.
Yeah. A little bit of damage coming out as the 2-person rotation into the bottom lane versus Dahaka. He takes a little bit of damage, but he'll be able to pop some essence, get himself topped back up. And we do now have Tassadar finishing the halfway point of that quest pretty dang early, 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's going to be a lot of value for them. And once he gets to that 60 seconds, that's extra range. And when you couple that with like the slow at level 7, which is a 60% slow, he can provide a lot of value for his team with that.
I'm a little bit surprised that Vala ended up not going auto attack stacking on 4, because Tassadar did go Kalo's Embrace for that extra lifesteal. But we do actually see Dahaka getting pushed out so far by Maya that he's actually going to have to back up and then dig to the bottom lane, which means he's not going to have a quick rotate into mid or top lane, as this top lane fight is now underway.
Yeah, we see the deep burrow charge in there onto the Anubarak, but the throw away. So no kill from that that deep burrow charge.
Yep, and a lot of damage actually taken from that Living Bomb spread is going to get healed up by Oriel, who's got that incredible sustained AoE healing, as long as you can convince your teammates to group up every 6 seconds.
Yeah, and this is an interesting setup here. You've got a lot of sustained healing coming from Oriel. The throw onto the Anubarak, though, able to help to secure that kill onto the bug, and that's going to be first blood. But the sustained healing coming out from Oriel, thanks to the battery of Vala, plus the shields coming from Tassadar, versus Uther. And Uther doesn't do a whole lot of healing. His primary value is the counter to burst damage in his 25 armor bonus.
Yeah, I'm very rarely a fan of Uther being picked up in the healing role and not in the tank role these days. And there we see the first fort falling in the first 3 minutes 45 seconds in the game. And we have Dahaka now kind of double soaking between mid and bottom, using the bushes to get that extra brush stalker speed.
Yep, and with the bruiser camp that they picked up earlier, they're able to secure that top lane, and that's a huge value for Heroes of the United States here. Now, Rush B is often they've played a very aggressive team in many cases here, and as we see, you know, a Nubrak positioned very far forward, Greenwall getting caught out there. I think in general was probably looking to get an idea of what was going on if they were maybe going for that camp, but entirely by himself there, so not really able to provide anything, just able to get out of the painful challenge that was presented there before him.
Yeah, both teams just agreeing to take their own camps. Neither team looking to invade too hard onto their opponent's side. We did see Rush be positioned aggressively in the first place. We do actually have a Nubrak coming around for a big flank engage, although Maya provides more than enough engagement with that Umbral Bind. Waterboy is able to walk away just barely, puts himself, tops themselves off with the heal, doesn't give it to the rest of the teammates, and Clyde takes a lot of damage, unfortunately. Tongue's a beetle and not a hero. And this is going to be both teams still jockeying for a little bit of position, but neither one going to be able to get too much out of that. Tassadar is rotating down now to try and make this into a nice little 5v4. Greenwall does get brought down very low, doesn't have the burrow charge available quite yet, and is going to be the first person to go down. I think the Tassadar rotation was necessary. I think the extra damage he provided there was what secured that kill, so good job coming out to Heroes of the United States.
So the wall here in the bottom, one tower at half. They do still have siege camp coming in from Hodus, so they're going to be able to take down the wall for sure. Tower down, both towers down now, and the bottom shrine is coming up here soon, and they'll have level 10 about the same time as that gets started. Arcane, though, in a ton of danger here, getting slowed by that that Psystorm that I mentioned earlier, but it's actually going to be Vala who gets taken down.
Yeah, the Umbral Bind and Living Bomb combo has been doing a lot of work for Rush B. We have a force wall. Oh my god, my life is complete.
Best talent in the game, I think. So much fun.
Genuinely agree.
And so we do see the knock into the wall, followed up by the tongue coming from Dahaka. The Divine Shield, however, used to allow a Nubrak to burrow charge out to safety. And Vala's not here, so this is going to be 5 versus 4 as Johanna make it in here, but they're already at half health on the side of Rush B, so pretty low health bars for an Uther to come in and heal up, but they do get the stun onto Garrosh, complete that kill. And now Johanna isolated by the wall, but she doesn't really care. Warden's Cage being popped, and they do have, I don't know, I can't even tell who's in the Aegis. Dahaka's still there. So everybody's spread out now at this point. Dominator in danger as he gets the swipe from Oriel. And Vala going continue onto the Anubrak, looking to get that kill. Not quite able to get it, but they get the kill onto Uther instead.
Vala got an almost full heal from that Tassadar shield while she was just... she was kind of not being focused during the later point of that team fight. She just stood there and wailed on Rush B, and it worked out really well for Hodus.
Yeah, for sure. And Vala even getting a little bit more damage onto this bottom fort. So just like we saw in the top fort, after taking out the wall, they're able to finish the channel and get the kill onto the structure.
We do now see Tassadar and Uther both finishing up their auto attack quests during that bottom lane kerfuffle. And it looks like we're getting pretty close to the rest of the heroes finishing up their level 1 quest as well. Just 2 more globes for Kael'thas and Anubarak, and 1 more Groundbreaker for Garrosh.
The Anubrak's going to need a few more. It's, I think, 30?
Oh, it is 30.
Yeah, it's 30. Yeah, I think they used to be like 20 or 25 for a lot of the globe quests, but they increased them to 30 for most of them. Most of the tank ones, anyways. Obviously, Stitch has got changed a little bit. Yeah, it's a big boost. I mean, you get a 10%-ish health boost from the one for Anubarak when he's high level. Actually, probably more than it's probably more like 15%. Because I don't think he's got at level 20. I don't think he's got 5k health. So probably about 4.
Yeah, no.
So Siege Camp in the bot lane. Tassadar just helping to finish up the minion wave there to push that forward a little bit as level 13's picked up here for Heroes of the United States.
Yep, and it looks like they're just going to rotate up and make sure that they can clear out their opponent's camp. We do have the nullification picked up from Tassadar. It's pretty dang common pickup. It'll do a lot to minimize the damage coming out of that Maiev, especially.
Yeah, and unlike other talents,
is pretty huge.
I don't think there's a significant display change when he uses that on a hero. Like, I think it's just the down arrows thing, not the reduced size like Alexstrasza has.
No, because it is one of the few that doesn't provide a reduction in speed, but it's a 75% damage cut instead of the more usual 50.
Yeah. So my point being is just simply that it's not easy to see when it's even used on a player. So we do see the cocoon going out onto Tassadar. I think that Dominator was looking for that, but instead he gets the pull onto Watson. Big 5-man taunt, though. Look at these red health bars going just straight to 0 as Anubarak falling, and Uther not able to keep up the beetle there. But even still very low on health.
9 hit points. Literally 9 hit points, and is able to walk out of there. Really big pull coming out from Dominator. It isn't able to secure any kills, maybe. Nope, Jub's got a shield for themselves. And Dahaka, with all of that essence, is just kind of standing in there menacingly. And that is the 2-for-0, with a lot of low health bars on the side of Heroes of the United States, but not low enough for Rush B to do anything about it.
And that's going to be their third fort now, is Dahaka heading down into the bot lane to get the rest of the channel going on the bottom temple here. But Vala in getting some damage out here, but the great pull from Dominator onto both Vala and Oriel. Taunt used onto the Johanna there, but Johanna's able to walk away, it looks like, probably. I don't know what that was. I think that was Isolation that missed, maybe? No, because that was earlier. I don't know. There was something that went after Johanna that missed.
Garrosh finally picking up a level 13 talent all the way at level 15.
You know, sometimes you just have to think about it for a bit.
Yeah, I can't blame him too much. I mean, they are in fact winning the game after all. Great Potu, strange name. Gets a little bit of a gank, but pops his arcane barrier. Everyone able to walk away. Blaze just kind of poking the bear with a Nubarak down there. Not quite able to make anything happen. Here comes the pull out onto Oriel. Isn't able to get the Warden's Cage on it. Comes out onto Garrosh instead, as he's able to invulnerable his way through that. But gets brought down actually very low. Is going to get saved initially. Saved again by Oriel twice there. That's a big reset coming in from Dominator, but not quite able to take anybody else out. I think that force wall was a little bit on the unnecessary side, but that's still a gigantic advantage. And, you know, somewhat lackluster focus fire coming out from Rush B is they're able to pick up the kill on Arcane as well. It's a really big stagger.
Yeah, that's...
And this is the very unsurprising boss call coming up from the side of Heroes of the United States.
Yeah, that was a huge kill for them overall. I mean, Vala just sat there in the close to the bot lane, kind of off to the side, was able to attack 3 heroes ultimately. I think it was a Nubarak, then Maiev, and then ultimately Johanna when she got put into that corner, and no pressure whatsoever on her at all. So tons of damage coming out from her.
And you know what's even scarier than Vala, Ariel, Tassadar with Kala's Embrace? All of that with 20% extra attack speed. Picked up at level 16 from Ariel, so Blaze is becoming even the harder of the hardest carries.
And, you know, it's funny because I was watching her as she was doing her auto attacks, and I was like, man, she's attacking fast. That seems faster than normal. I hadn't even considered that she was getting that attack speed from Oriel, but makes complete and total sense.
Ooh, we also actually have the phase disruption coming out from Tassadar, the 35% physical armor cut when you hit someone with Psionic Storm, and we're going to see that not necessarily come into play on that kill in particular, but certainly for kills in the future.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic for this Vala carry. And not to mention, I mean, Tassadar's own auto attacks hit pretty hard at this point, or at least often enough to feel hard. So, you know, we're going to see a lot of potential damage between these two, especially if they're just left alone to continue to auto attack like they have been.
We see no contest coming out from the side of Rush B, content to just take their camp and try to work on that XP differential that they're looking at right now. But I don't know. I think this might be the best fight they'll have before Heroes of the United States gets to level 20. And after level 20, I don't feel like there should be any chance that they have to take a fight for the rest of the game.
So since we've got a minute or two before that happens, what do you think? What do you think Tassadar takes at level 20 now?
I think you take Force Barrier every time, all the time, every time. It has like a screen and a half worth of range, and it's got literally a 1 second period between the wall falling and the cooldown being up again. Yes, prismatic alignment got a buff, but like Force Barrier.
Yeah, I agree. Like if you take wall, if you take force wall, decreasing the cooldown and increasing the range is absolutely. It's such a frustrating pain in the neck. It's like if Medivh had the ability to cast Force of Will every 2 seconds. You know,
Yeah, whether or not
frustration.
It lands.
Exactly. Just well, no, his shield is what I'm talking about. If he was able to cast a shield, it's that level of frustration because you can never get where you want to go ever. There's always a force wall there to just piss you off.
And we're gonna have to see. Actually, not using the Divine Shield to get himself out of there. We have Vala get put into very low hit points, but now we have the level 20s coming in for the side of Heroes of the United States. A little bit of a flubbed invade, but no one actually dying because of it. We do have the Force Barrier, Apex Predator, Shield of Hope, Rancor, and once again, Garrosh is holding his talent as he has been wont to do over and over this game.
Yeah, I mean,
but does go in for the Titanic Might.
Yeah, the level 13 talents for Garrosh are the ones that like you have to really consider. All of the other talents are pretty common. Like you almost always take every single one of those talents that he's got. Maybe level 1, sometimes you might change a little bit. Even potentially your level 4, and obviously level 7 if you're playing an NGS on Volskaya Foundry. But generally speaking, this is the build. But at 13, there's the potential that you might want to take some other talents. You might actually want to take the additional armor talent that I don't remember any of the names of them. To increase your armor bonus, you know, doubling your armor bonus. Getting the shield on your ground breaker is helpful as well. But here we go with the fight. The big taunt goes out, and it's going to be pretty much instant deletion of the Beetle Anub'arak going out. Blaze, however, getting the stun. They're trying to get this kill onto Vala, but they're not going to be able to do so. Divine Shield going out onto the Maya, but she's pulling away here. The Warden's Cage now gone. But so far, just the one kill onto a Anub'arak. Dominator, though, very low, going back in.
But here's where that Force Barrier comes in, just completely preventing Maya from retreating. And I think if they pushed harder, they could have gotten a couple more kills there, but decided to take the nice, easy double cap here and secure both of the keeps and get some damage out onto that core.
Oh, they're going to... actually, maybe not. I guess I was going to say they're going to win with that, but I guess technically speaking, that's not going to be quite enough to get the core to 0.
Yep, but Dahaka's got the ape. Oh, does get flashlit out of his Hearthstone. Should still be able to run away with that extra 20% move speed from Brushstalker, and he does have Apex Predator, so they could easily join in on this boss that's not happening in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and this boss definitely will finish the game here for Heroes of the United States if it's not sniffed out, which Greenwall's coming down here, but it's still a good few seconds before the rest of the team's here, and this is just the 4. Dominator's not here, so they've got to go in. They do get onto the point, unstoppably used by the Johanna there, and almost picked up as Garrosh was out of it there. But Anub'arak dies, Garrosh is dead, and now who else died? Kael'thas there, and they're getting just deleted on this point. Dominator, the last one to fall, and that's going to give them the boss, and there's already catapults on the core. I don't even know if the boss makes it.
It does not. I don't even know if a hero makes it. Just barely is going to, but that is a very convincing, actually, game number 1 going in favor of Heroes of the United States.
And you know what? I mean, that's about what you expect to see. Heroes of the United States was a very strong B East team. There's a reason that they were seeded number 1 in arguably one of, I think, the more competitive divisions in NGS this season. Let's take a look here at the stats. So 18-4 there on the kill count, so pretty significant, you know, over to the side of of HOTUS. Show up these talents here for a moment.
Yeah. Heroes of the United States really put all their eggs into one basket there, but the basket didn't break. And they were able to just carry all of those eggs all the way to victory.
Quite the double down on the cliche.
I mean, normally you're advised against doing that, but like if you're able to keep all of your eggs in that basket the whole time, you've got all your eggs together.
Alice agrees with you.
Wait, have you ever given a dog a raw egg still in the shell? It's super weird.
No, I haven't.
I gave it to my larger dog, which you've probably seen in the background just a little bit, and he carried it gently to his crate, and then he dropped it, realized that it was food, and then ate it.
So dropped it. Did it break?
Yes, it did. It broke.
Got
when he
it.
dropped
Okay.
it.
And that's when he realized it was food. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. So, so game number 2 is going to be taking place on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It was selected by Heroes of the United States. And spoiler alert, we're going to see a Tracer.
Is there going to be another Tassadar?
There is, in fact, going to be another Tassadar.
Because it would be stranger, I think, to see Tassadar or to see Tracer without Tassadar than to see Tracer and Tassadar. To be completely honest.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, Tracer's been out of the meta for a long time.
Were you? No, you weren't. That was Chaotic that was with me when we saw a game earlier with Tracer, Apple Mike, playing that Tracer
okay.
earlier.
I was probably watching StarCraft earlier.
Well, that's okay. We won't hold it against you.
I appreciate that.
Huh. All right. Well, looking at these teams, I think I have an idea who wins this game. But let's go ahead and get set up for game number 2 here. This is on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Currently up 1-0 in favor of Heroes of the United States. And there we go. Kime, good try, Rush B. Got a couple kills, but not enough indeed. Like, HOTUS is a strong team, and you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the rest of the B East teams who make it through the quarterfinals, the semifinals, what have you, ultimately to face them, how they perform against them.
To answer your earlier question, Alterac passed at 51 games as of the last stats of the Storm upgrade or update.
Huh. There you go.
So spawning in on the left-hand side, we have Heroes of the United States with Blaze playing Tracer, Jub reprising their role as Tassadar, Clyde playing Blaze, Watson playing Anubarak, and Waterboy playing Ariel.
Oh, that's going to be awkward with Blaze as not Blaze, but Blaze is Blaze. But anyways,
Yep.
On the right, we have Rush B. We're going to have Arcane on the Brightwing Dominator on Kel'Thuzad, Fatlock 333 on Johanna, Greenwall 12 on Anduin, and T-Lane on Phoenix.
Yeah, going with the double support comp, and neither of those are Uther. So a little bit of a surprise pickup here coming out from the side of Rush B. I like this comp kind of quite a lot, actually, because Brightwing is one of the best counters to Tracer in the game with that polymorph. Although I think I'd still rather have that be an Uther.
Yeah, you know, I have to say I agree. The Uther has maybe a little bit more lockdown with the stuns, with the potential for a Divine Storm. And I don't feel like they have, with the poly, I don't feel like they have any way, even still, to really lock down the Tracer and kill her quickly. But I guess we'll see. Maybe the Chastise? I don't know.
Chastise is slow. I think it's going to have to be Bless Shield, honestly. We do see Tassadar going into the Psi Infusion level 1. That's a really strong pickup on this map. It gives you that incredible amounts of wave clear. And we're definitely seeing Kel'Thuzad get the stacks a lot quicker than we did in our previous series. Already at 9, a minute and 10 in the game.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Uther was not actually banned. The bans in this here, well, again, more pickups from Dominator here, getting those stacks here. The bans here for Heroes of the United States were Sylvanas, Ragnaros, and Varian. For Rush B were Malthael, Deckard, and Vala. So,
I feel like that's got to be a couple of different target bans coming out there. Most of those aren't super standard. Malthael I can see being good on this map, but the rest are... Oh, Sylvanas is also incredible. I get that one.
Yeah. I know Dominator plays a lot of Sylvanas, and I believe that the Varian is one that they... you know what, they banned Varian because of the Tracer. So...
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Varian's another really good Tracer counter.
Yep.
Dive coming out onto Arcane and really committing in for that Brightwing kill. Not getting anything, but also not losing really anything for it either.
Yeah, having those minions there and also the beetles able to soak the tower shots. And we've got our tanks facing off over the bottom control point. Not really getting anywhere with it, but just saying hello. Waterboy TKD turning in all of this single one gem. But you know what? There are times where that one gem matters.
Yeah. Hashtag all gems matter.
Exactly.
We see not a lot of emphasis put into the top lane coming out from the side of Rush B, only committing their Andu in there. But, I mean, when you've got a Brightwing, you can afford to put a healer as mediocre wave clear into the top lane. Though we do see them rotating down to the mid lane now to try and see if they can make something happen, but not quite able to. I think it was mostly just to let Brightwing get that Hearth in there and then Z back in, probably.
So Kel'Thuzad sitting at now 18 stacks, does have that Glacial Spike, so doing really well on the timer of that. And we're going to see more gems turned in here for Heroes of the United States, sitting at 14 with Rush B at 15 currently.
There's a bit of a gank attempt down in the bottom lane, but Brightwing is able to port in just in time to save Phoenix, and will have to use the well, and then his shields will come back over time. But once again, just not much spent and not much gained.
So still unable to turn any more gems here, as Anduin getting caught and interrupted by the or killed by the Anubarak there. Oh my god, I cannot get these three to shut up.
We do once again have the Kala's Embrace. Completely expected talent pickup when you have a Tracer that you're trying to have hard carry like this.
Yeah, for sure. So Blaze is able to finish off the turn in the bot lane. So that's going to give the blue web weavers, I guess the web weavers over to the blue team. I was going to say the blue web weavers to the blue team. It would be really unfortunate if it was the red web weavers over to the blue team.
Thank you so much, Silvara, for the 22 Puperinos.
All right, so we see the chain onto Watson, pulling him into that Glacial Spike. But right now, that's just more stacks here. Is just not enough damage coming out from that Kel'Thuzad just yet, but only 6 more stacks to go before Kel'Thuzad starts doing significant damage. Now, Fatlock has 33 gems. Kind of ideal, Fatlock 333, having 33 gems. I hope he doesn't pick up any more gems. Thankfully, he just walked away from the 2 there. But the big root going out onto Tassadar, he's going to have to pull away, and Tracer also taking just a boatload of damage.
Yeah, but this whole time, they committed nothing to defending in the top lane. They lose the entirety of the front wall, and also the well there, so a lot of damage going out there. Blaze, aka Tracer, gets brought down very low, sub 100 hit points, but is still able to walk away thanks to the shielding and healing from their teammates.
Yeah, Kime calling that was probably a double kill if KTZ had his stacks, and 100% agree. I mean, they were very low. T-Lane also in the mid lane here getting very low, having to pull away, but very low on Phoenix is relative, right? Because he's already got a fairly low health pool.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's got that shield that can bring him basically all the way up to 50% if left alone for a minute.
All right, so it looks like Rush B is trying to get their gems turned in. Fatlock has all of 40, so pull in, getting another couple of stacks for Dominator. But with that, we're going to see Fatlock does get turned in. I thought he was actually going to be interrupted here. Tracer charging in onto green while trying to get the damage onto the Anduin, but again, with the combination of Brightwing and Anduin, able to heal up that damage, so there you go.
I like this call from Blaze coming in, just making sure that fort dies. It was barely 200 hit points at that point, so just that little quick rotation up is just going to give them a lot of value over time, especially as they now have a catapult spawning in that lane. It's going to help de-push this Web Weaver.
Yep, and we've got 29 stacks here from Kel'Thuzad, so the next hit is going to get him that value. There it is. And Tracer hiding in the wall, so she wasn't able to get pulled onto the Glacial Spike, so no route for Kel'Thuzad on that.
And we did have Blaze in the bottom lane that whole time, so it was a 4 versus 5 from Heroes of the United States, but because of that, they were able to clear up the bottom Web Weaver without taking almost any damage. Top lane is going to take a little bit of damage, because we do have the level 10s now coming in for both teams. We've got the Quantum Spike. We had a pause request come out. Obviously, this is a replay, so that's not going to happen. Bunker Drop, Cocoon, and Crystal Aegis coming out from the side of Heroes of the United States. Tassadar, there we go. There's the pause. We did have the Force Wall come out once again from Tassadar. We have Shadow Fissure this game coming out from Kel'Thuzad. Bless Shield and the Purification Salvo, pretty freaking common ults as well. Only the healers at this point are holding on to their heroic abilities. I would expect... I was going to say the Light Bomb coming out from Anduin. I was already incorrect, however. Not a lot of stuns that can actually interrupt the Salvation. Big combo goes out onto Jub, but is able to use that Dimensional Shift to get away. And a lot of damage now coming out onto Dominator as they got put in the Cocoon and get the Fallout CC, but no kills coming out from either side. Brightwing still holding on to that heroic.
So just so you're aware, they can't see the chat. I have that turned off.
Alrighty, there was a pause and a whole bunch of chat happened, but you didn't see any of that.
Yeah. So the interrupt coming out here from Watson is able to interrupt, or really all three of them get the big stun here, but Salvation being used since all of those stuns were on cooldown. And you know, it's interesting. I kind of hope we see a level 20 Kel'Thuzad here, because the level 20 upgrade to Shadow Fissure provides an additional Shadow Fissure underneath the target if it hits, right? So if they can get a big group combo, it's absolutely just monstrous what can happen. You can see 3, 4, 5 Shadow Fissures get recast from one cast and just obliterate a 5-man team.
It's really cool to see that even if it only hits on a single target, it's a really neat combo actually after level 20. We do have the blue Web Weavers coming down. Tassadar pushed the top lane out very hard so that Web Weavers can spawn all the way forward. We do have the engagement that comes out. Tracer gets brought down exceptionally low, but is still able to walk away with the power of all of that blinking around. The wall kept the members of Rush B in place for quite a while, but not able to follow up enough to get the kill. Web Wrap coming out onto Kel'Thuzad and trying to put the damage out into Fatlock, but just a little bit too fat at the moment. Dominator gets brought down very low, but still not quite able to finish out any of those kills. Dominator puts some damage out into Anubarak, but the Crystal Aegis is going to keep him nice and topped off.
And
Bottom Web Weaver has gone down, and that fort is probably going to go down as well.
If you're
Jet
Rush
Propulsion
B
missing out onto Phoenix, but that's still going to be Phoenix dying. Warp not quite far enough to get him out of there safely. If you're Rush B, you were saying.
Yeah, if you're Rush B, I mean, you have to be so frustrated right now. What do you have to do to get a kill? You've had so many heroes so very low, and between the bunker, the recall from Tracer, the Crystal Aegis, the Force Walls, the Cocoon onto the Kel'Thuzad, every time that you're about to get a kill, there's a pause button, and they just walk away.
Yeah, there's a shield, there's an Aegis, there's a giant yellow heal. Just not quite able to get that first kill. And with their comp, if they can get a kill, they can combo that into more kills pretty easily. But they just haven't found that first kill yet. To be fair, there's only been 2 kills in this entire game, but really big Force Wall is going to come out. The Brightwing port is going to save Phoenix, as well as the... Actually, the port got canceled by Warp, I believe, so that's just going to be a short cooldown on Phase Shift, but... Yeah, once again, not much spent for nothing gained coming out from Heroes of the United States. Just a very small commitments from them, but they're looking to get their second turn in a row. Big Phoenix ult comes out. Not quite able to finish off Blaze because why would Tracer ever die? Actual Blaze, the hero, almost dies, but then there's a bunker drop, and then there's a Crystal Aegis, and still, once again, nobody dying on the side of Heroes of the United States.
And all the while, there's a camp in the bot lane getting pressure, and Nubarak has basically no health here, so I'm actually surprised they didn't just turn and burn, but the Cocoon going out, once again, just another way for them to prevent the death. But it is going to give Rush B the opportunity anyways to turn in here. But the stall from Tassadar at least gives them that extra moment here to start working on refreshing their health bars.
That might have been the most incredible team fight I've ever seen. Just no one dying in there, and everyone getting so very low, just weaving in and out of range. Like, just incredible performance coming out from Heroes of the United States.
So Red Webweaver's coming on to the map, I believe for the first time, if I remember correctly. So we'll see how much value they can get here. They've committed primarily to the top lane, although Kel'Thuzad is in the bot lane, and that's a lot of their blow up.
Yeah, Phoenix is able to push the lane out pretty well, but he really can't kill the team by himself the way Kel'Thuzad kind of can.
So here they come. They've got Phoenix doing his little laser there. The full team is pushed back. I guess.
Also, there's no Blaze here, so this is a 5 versus 4. A lot of damage coming out onto Fatlock. Brightwing just barely gets the port in time. Phoenix just barely gets the Purification Salvo out, but no one falling for it. Fatlock, once again, in kind of a rough position, gets walled off by Tassadar. Tracer gets polymorphed and rooted, but then gets the Crystal Aegis with a shield and is able to keep themselves up once again.
And you know, Fatlock there was saved by Ariel. She was trying to smack him into the, I think, the Force Wall, but ultimately the Force Wall just dropped and sent him flying away from the team. If Ariel either didn't use that, whatever, the swipe, or if
strike?
That one, yeah. If she didn't use that, or if she did it just a moment earlier, then I think Fatlock dies.
So looking at the number of gems required per turn-in, it looks like both teams have had 2 turn-ins now. Although Heroes of the United States is much closer to a third. Arcane getting caught out with the beautiful Force Wall is going to fall for a whopping 8-second cooldown. It looks like they might have put the Pulse Bomb into it as well. It's hard to tell.
I don't see... I guess that's 39%. Do you see that?
Yes, that's 39% of having it fully charged again.
Huh.
This game, we do actually have the Psionic Echo coming out instead of the Physical Armor Cut. I think that's better for this map just because of how much AoE damage you want to put out. A lot of damage going out into Fatlock because of that Force Wall. But they're just going to... Heroes of the United States is going to back up, let their Webweaver fall, and try to put some macro pressure in instead of teamfight pressure. They do put out the Web Wrap out onto Dominator, but not able to do any significant amounts of follow-up, and it looks like we finally have our first kill coming out from Rush B. That is a Nubarak falling, but there's a bottom Webweaver pushing up onto core. And the front wall is already down. It's not going to be able to take the core, bottom keep out, but it is going to put a little bit of pressure and get it kind of low. We do have a very nice Kel'Thuzad combo coming out onto Ariel as well. The reset is going to come out and hit Blaze, the hero, not the player. But it looks like they're just going to try and position aggressively, see if they can get anything. But they shouldn't be able to get too much more value from these Webweavers than they already have.
Yeah, Phoenix cleared up the top lane, so no keeps down, which is, you know, really the best thing you could hope for Rush B. They were able to get that kill onto the Nubarak early. The Cocoon was already used. It was used there on the Dominator, that was called. So it gave them the opportunity to defend this a little bit more. I mean, with the Nubarak, I don't know. I don't know that they saved that keep at that point. If they have a full 5 squad.
Both teams approximately a dozen gems away from being able to turn in, but all of the gems are now on the side of Rush B. On their side of the map, that is. So it's going to be a lot easier for them to actually get the gems for that turn in than it will be for Heroes of the United States. And that might be how Rush B looks to try and come back into this game.
Right now, fighting over the Bruiser camps here, they're able to clear up the Mage minions, so ultimately they're just going to get the turn in. They do have enough for turn here, so they just need Kel'Thuzad at this point to turn in, and they've got it, and they do get it. So there you go. The siege camp in the bot lane will clear out the Web Weaver, though, if they don't do anything about it. But it does look like they're heading down there. It's nice to hear that mine are not the only ones having a voice today.
Yeah, no, it's his first time, so he's being relatively good today.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Oh, Titan. So we do have the Web Weavers now coming down from the side of Rush B. That's going to be the 3-second Web Weaver patented from Here's the United States. And it looks like they're probably going to rotate down into bottom lane next. Nope, opting to just give up bottom fort and clear out onto the top Web Weaver. Make sure that that lane is the further pushed out.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, they're going to be 20 here soon as well, so they could, you know, very easily look at a look at a boss here in the near future. It's like the mailman came or something.
That's a legitimate possibility. I believe Amazon does in fact deliver on Sundays.
Oh, fair enough. So Web Weaver's sitting here at about 20% at the bottom now. Rush B primarily clearing up their lanes in the mid and heading up to clear up top now. And level 20 is just around the corner for Heroes of the United States. They also have a Web Weaver turn in with just 12 gems.
Yeah, but unfortunately with the way that that's shaking out, they need 2 heroes to do that, which is going to be Blaze and also Blaze turning in at the bottom turn in. We do not have the level 20s picked up. We've got Get Stuffed, the Burn Notice coming out from Blaze the hero. Shield of Hope once again coming out from Ariel, and the Rewind, not terribly surprising, coming out from a Nubarak, and Tassadar is holding. But yeah, it's even more force barrier than the previous game because you don't have the competition of the Prismatic Alignment since he's not AA build as much.
Right, yep. We're seeing pings at the camp location there, that bush. Just trying to call out that there's a possibility that they could be there. But it's clear. All of Rush B is in their mid, trying to defend this here. Fatlock, though, in front of the wall, and again, you know, that force wall is up every couple of seconds, every 3 seconds, I think, now.
Yeah, and it lasts for 2.
Right, so you have a very short window to get where you want to go.
Yeah.
They
The
are
middle
able to
Web
clear
Weaver
up
is
the mid
already
web.
cleaned up.
Yeah.
The bottom Web Weaver is now encroaching onto Keep, and there we see the Force Barrier come up, not actually splitting off too much. The Phoenix ult coming out, I think only hitting 2, and not for a significant amount of damage either. Blaze goes in to just get that bullet spray onto the enemy team, but that's the bottom Web Weaver cleaned up without a significant amount of damage being dealt. However, they're still pushing aggressively in this bottom lane, which gives time for the top Web Weaver to do a lot of damage, and that's the kill coming out onto Tracer. That is the second kill for Rush B out of the 5 total kills in this game. And Nubarak is able to burrow charge out, but Rush B is on the chase. But you know what? Force Barrier is pretty good for disengages too.
Yeah, and we just see Phoenix is able to clear up or finish the Web Weaver up in top. It's going to allow them to get level 20 here. But again, I mean, all the structure value has been pretty much on the side of HOTUS. They've got 1 keep down now against Rush B and all of the forts.
Yeah, as opposed to the single fort that's being down for the other side.
Blaze able to use that jet propulsion to get out of dodge, and the force barrier just making life hell for Rush B. There's just nothing they can do about that. It's not like something you can't even indestructible or indomitable through it or unstoppable through it. Unless you've got a teleport, you're not getting through that wall.
Yeah, there's a very small number of abilities that can actually let you get through that wall. Basically anything that would let you go over terrain will let you go over the wall. Because that's what it is. It's basically temporary terrain.
Right.
Nice successful camp invade coming out from the side of Rush B, who now also have their level 20s. We do have Might of the Scourge, Varian's Legacy, Speedy Dragon, so Brightwing can be even quicker around the map. Blinded by the Light. That's the last time I sing on stream, everybody. Coming out from Johanna, and the Unconquered Spirit, basically Phoenix's own Indestructible.
All right. And that upgraded, let's highlight that on stream here. Might of the Scourge. You know, Kel'Thuzad can already recast his Shadow Fisher now with the changes, but Might of the Scourge just makes it disgusting. So we'll see if we get any value. Again, only 3 kills to 2 though, so this has not been a high kill scoring game. It's mostly been on structures. So we'll see if this is the value that they need to get those extra kills.
Yeah, and I really like Heroes of the United States playing around in the mid and bottom lanes just because they already have that constant catapult pressure in the top lane. So if they can just... Oh, we do have a Nubarak getting caught out a little bit, silenced by Brightwing, and is able to get the... Not quite able to get the follow-up combo from Kel'Thuzad. As it looks like Rush B is trying to get their turn in. Arcane gets brought down really low, has to wait for that Blink heal cooldown to come back. But there goes... Here's the real value of Force Wall, is you can just end a retreat. Although, unfortunately, whiffs the second Force Barrier just a little bit, as we do see Phoenix is now rotating into the bottom lane to clear up that camp and catapult pressure that's mounting there.
Yeah, and Rush B does have enough for a turn-in here. But again, even with a turn-in, I mean, they almost need 2 turn-ins or a turn-in and a boss to really consider pressure in that top keep.
If this game ends up going in favor of Rush B, it's got to be from, I think, a pick. Like, if they're able to get enough CC out onto Blaze so that they can't ever hit that recall, things snowball really hard in Rush B's favor, because Blaze is like... Blaze, the player, is like their whole team fight.
So we're seeing turn-in here from Hodus, getting up to 38. They're a little bit shy of what they would need, but, you know, getting these turned in means that it's a little bit easier for them later, and it doesn't keep their gems at risk. Hodus a little bit split here, so we do see the polymorph out onto Blaze. Watson diving deep into the team as Phoenix getting stunned again, and then pulled out by Leap of Faith. And check out the additional Shadow Fishers there from Kel'Thuzad. Coming in from that one hit, hitting 2 players. So Fatlock going back in is stuck in the corner there with the Force Wall.
And once again, we see just that mounting pressure building in the top lane for the side of Heroes of the United States, and so Rush B has to rotate Phoenix out. And now, if they wanted, Heroes of the United States could take a nice little 5v4. Looks like they're not going to do that. They're just going to use the time to clear out mid and possibly bottom again, and continue to just goaltend this turn in, and let their macro pressure advantage just keep propelling them further into the game. Although we do see the boss bait. It's hard to do this against Tassadar. He's got a D that reveals, so I would be a little bit surprised if they fell for this. Although now they see Blaze the hero in the bottom lane, so maybe they'll just go for this boss. But it looks like they back out as they are revealed by Tassadar.
Yeah, it's an interesting play.
It's like trying to hide against Hanzo with Sonic Arrow off cooldown. It just doesn't really work out that much.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they get the boss, like, the boss doesn't win them the game. The boss gives them a very brief moment of breathing room, but now Hodus has enough for turn in. They are going to get the Web Weavers now.
I think if, more than anything, boss would have bought them some breathing room and taken it off of the map for their opponents.
Yeah,
We've got the big jump propulsion coming in, hitting 2 in the back line. Tassadar gets brought down really low, but Phoenix gets brought down even lower, has to pop his indestructible, but the gigantic cinematography coming out from Greenwall. We just have reset after reset coming out from Kel'Thuzad, though, and a lot of damage, but no kills to be found on either side quite yet, but this is the blue Web Weavers coming in. They'll be able to back out, possibly tap up, heal up, and then get back into this fight behind a couple of angry spider ladies.
Yeah, and that was what I was hoping that they would do instead of, you know, going up to the boss, was look for a fight that they could take somewhere, because, you know, the boss is high risk. If they go to the boss and they start it, then they risk, you know, potentially dying as they invade. Obviously the vision. So they waited a little bit too long, I think, to allow it to be an even fight, a 5v5, and this is looking, you know, very strong. Like it could be the game here, maybe. Well, actually, I don't know. The Web Weaver's already gone. Never mind. Clearly, I have no idea what I'm talking about. By the way, it is still 3 kills to 2, 26 minutes into this game.
Yeah. It's genuinely incredible how well these two teams are playing and not dying. We do have the aggressive camp take coming out from the side of Heroes of the United States, but Jubjub's going to be able to use that wall to make sure that they basically never end up having a successful counter engage.
You know, and I mentioned earlier, I mean, if you're Rush B, you're sitting there thinking, you know, how do we get a kill out of this? For what it's worth, I mean, if you're on the side of Heroes of the United States, they don't care, right? They don't care about getting kills. They don't need the kills because their damage is all in Tracer. So as long as they keep their people alive and make use of the objectives, which is what they've done very well, they're good.
Yeah,
So-
we do have the heavy engage coming out now, actually getting the successful detainment strike after a force wall comes down. Clyde jumps in to try to do some damage, is going to get brought down very low, drops the bunker to keep themselves nice and topped off. Blaze, the player, gets brought down to about half as well, but looking for another successful disengage coming out, although now that Rush B's on the retreat, it looks like Heroes of the United States is only too happy to give chase, and that almost a gigantic force wall, but they can actually move out on either side. So Watson going back in for the engage out on the Dominator. Not quite enough follow-up yet, but there's the force wall, the rewind coming in, but the huge cinematography coming out from Greenwall, interrupted after everything else gets taken down, but that is still kill number 6 in this game going out onto Dominator, kill number 7 going out onto Johanna, no indestructible to keep her alive. The Burrow goes out onto Phoenix, but he's able to warp out just fine. But we have a very dangerous looking push going out onto this mid keep and probably the core as well. Jet propulsion hits 2. Greenwall is not able to walk away, and that is going to be game number 2 going out in favor of Heroes of the United States. And if I'm not mistaken, the series as well.
That is correct.
It's been a long time since game number 1.
T-Lane sacrificing himself to the stat gods. It's a quick 2-0, well, not a quick, actually, almost a 30-minute game on Tomb of the Spider Queen, but a 2-0 victory here for Heroes of the United States over Rush B. Let's take a look. Who do they play next? Well,
Excuse me, in what world does Tassadar do 104,000 hero damage?
Oh my goodness.
Beating out the likes of Kel'Thuzad and Phoenix and Tracer. By a significant margin in most of those cases, too. That was incredible play from Jub.
Oh, so interesting enough. So the Heroes of the United States, their next game is going to be against either Beast Coast or Jailbait. Both teams, number 4 and number 5, both strong teams in Division B East. And they are actually playing very soon here. They're playing tonight. And I'm pulling up the calendar, stalling a little bit so that I can actually verify. Oh, there we go. Looks like they are playing at 8 o'clock tonight. So in just under an hour, that's going to be hosted by DB Smiley.
Everyone make sure to go give a follow at twitch.tv/dbsmiley. Although, to be fair, if you're watching a replay cast, there's a good chance you're already following DB Smiley, and we thank you for that.
Indeed. And but either way, I mean, everybody that is here certainly could be checking out for tonight. So, you know, there are other playoff games tonight. What else do we have here? So, Beast Coast versus Jailbait. We've got... Come on. Well, I know that there are 3... There we go. So we've got 3 heroic games going on. It's a little bit of a triangle here between Insomnia versus Mismo's Skill Shots, which is actually going on right now. I'm going to send you guys over there once we're done here. After that, at 9 o'clock is going to be Mismo's Skill Shots versus Amazing, and then at 10:30, Insomnia versus Amazing. There's also Luciodology versus Bloodbath and Beyond. That is a D West game. That is showing up at 10 o'clock. So... quite a few matches still left tonight for the end of the week to check out.
And
Ectar,
all of them
we're all
casted.
done. And all of them casted, yes. So make sure you check the calendar for those. Ectar, so we're all done here. So let's go ahead and wrap this up so that I can take care of these whining dogs here.
Yeah, it sounds like they need something from you. Probably food and or attention.
Probably a little bit of both. So, Ectar, we're all done. Anything you'd like to say to TwitchNet before we take off for the night?
We've been streaming for 2 hours and 22 minutes. You should have had at least 18 ounces of water by now.
Fair enough.
Also follow me at twitch.tv/Ectar.
There you go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here tonight on the NGS Rewind, where we look back at matches that didn't get cast earlier in the week, or in this case, a little bit beyond the week. We will continue for the next couple of weeks as playoffs wind down. There's still some other replays to cast from previous weeks, so make sure you tune in on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Also, check out my regular page, twitch.tv/Aero of the Storm, where we'll have a variety of different casts throughout the week here. But right now, we're going to send you over to Majesty at Nexus Commentaries for this Insomnia versus Mismos Skill Shots game. And thanks again for joining us tonight.
Thank you once again for having me.
Have a great night, everybody.